Greetings and welcome to lesson 4.1. Here we're going to focus on preparing to leave, really focused on building your exit plan. So in this lesson, we'll focus on the foundational steps to plan a safe and effective exit from an abusive relationship. Here you will explore the logistical, emotional, and financial considerations critical to executing a successful departure. The key points here are to 1, assess your readiness to leave from an emotional and practical standpoint. 2, to prepare financially by securing assets and documents. 3, plan logistics, including housing, transportation, and emergency resources. And then 4, document evidence of abuse for legal purposes. See, leaving an abusive relationship, particularly a narcissistic one, is a major step toward freedom and healing. Today, we'll focus on building a detailed and actionable plan to ensure your safety during this critical transition, whether it's an intimate relationship or a family relationship, and even these steps are relevant to workplace situations. Just use this to think about your specific context as you go through this lesson. So, to start off, I'll ask a question to talk about readiness. And the question to ask yourself is, do I feel emotionally prepared to face the challenges of leaving this relationship, this job, this family, this marriage? And notice what comes up for you when you ask yourself this question. And whatever comes up for you is simply information to help you understand where you are in a real way in regards to thinking about what your exit strategy should be. Now, when we think about practical readiness, some questions to keep in mind include: where would you go? When would you go? What would you take? And who would you call? Do I have access to transportation? Have I identified safe housing options? Do I have a backup plan for my job? Do I have another job? Do I have a business that I'm launching? All these things are very critical. How much money do I have? How much money do I need? How much don't I have? Where can I get support from? Pro bono and otherwise. These are all very key things to consider as you assess your readiness to leave. And then secondly, you want to think about your financial preparation if it's relevant. So for a job situation, you may want to think about whether you've saved enough money in your savings accounts, in your 401k, your 403b, if these are available to you. In familial or intimate type situations, do you have a bank account? Do you have a savings account, a checking account, a money market account? Do you have the right IDs? Do you have a bank statement? Do you have insurance policies? Do you have copies to your mortgage deed or your rental agreement? Do you have a budget? How do you save money without raising suspicion? And at this point, it's important to think about using some apps or tools such as Excel or something similar. And these days, there's various AI tools that you can link to your financial ecosystem securely that can help you understand your current state of affairs. And then, can you work with organizations offering financial aid to survivors? Do these options exist for you? But when you've done the readiness and the financial analysis and the logistical planning, including safe housing options if you have to leave, is this a trusted family place I can go to? Is this a home I can rely on? Do I have money for a new apartment, a new home, a shelter? And what emergency resources are available in my locality, my country, my city, my region? Do I have an emergency bag? And the importance of having an emergency bag is critical because you want to have clothing, cash, medications, personal documents ready, depending on your context. And in other situations, do you have your resume done? For example, in a job type situation, have you spoken to other allies who can help you? And then have you introduced privacy? Do you clear your digital footprint, your browser history, passwords, or do you have an alternate phone? These are all very important things to think about. And then, of course, it's important to document evidence, whether it's family or business or otherwise, because in legal battles, documentation can be your strongest tool. So some ways you can do this, including journaling incidents, taking photos of injuries or damaged property or any kind of scenario that will be useful, and then saving this evidence in a secure location. So you realize that your readiness is very, very key, because you have to be very intelligent and smart, even if you don't have all the resources. And start small and move at your own pace, and utilize the exit strategy template in this lesson to support you. Ultimately, you want to remember that some things to keep in mind include assessing your readiness to leave, preparing financially in some way, then planning logistically, and documenting the evidence. These are all key to ensure that the process is smooth for you, but you don't have to do it alone, which is why in the next section, in lesson 4.2, we'll be talking about identifying support systems like therapists, friends, and legal help. See you in the next lesson.